It is a pleasure to be here in Arden Batik in the company of the 2015 North Frontenac Little Theatre Lifetime Recognition Award honoree, Sarah Hale. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Welcome to you.
Thank you. You have been with the Little Theatre for some time now.
Yes.
I know you figured prominently throughout the 90s with your late husband Lorne and your daughter Julia, and now seemingly with boundless energy into the 2000s with your most recent production being Aladdin that we put on last year, when you played a lovely role of the narrator and you did the Merchant Woman.
That's true.
What was your first production?
I believe that our first production as a family was Alice in Theatreland, which was the revival of Alice in Wonderland.
Yes, that was I think the 10th anniversary show of our little theater. And what were your memories of that first production? You went out to audition and...
what I remember most was that it was probably one of the few productions in which Lorne and I both had a role we enjoyed. The one role he really enjoyed playing was the Mad Hatter. And I had a good time with the Duchess. The other thing was that I ended up having to be the White Queen at the last moment because the White Queen, who was a friend of mine, got sick just before the production. And so that was fun. It was exciting.
Yes.
Learned a lot about learning lines quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
You must have some very memorable moments in some of your productions. Anything that stands out and that might have a bit of a humor side to it?
I guess one of my memorable moments was during the first play that I actually directed, which was The Importance of Being Earnest. And Ivy Platinius was playing that wonderful lead character, and she was due on stage, and forget whether it was the first or the second night, I think it might have been the first night, she didn't appear. And I had 4 young people, high school students, basically, who were playing the parts of the 2 young couples, and they were waiting for her to come on, and they just carried on. It was the most beautiful thing. They started improvising. Oh, yes, my aunt. Now, where is my aunt? I thought she was coming. Well, you know that woman. And on they went.
Just beautiful improvisation.
3 or 4 minutes. It seemed like 20 minutes to me, but it wasn't that long. Until somebody realized that Inez hadn't been called and got her up there. So I was really proud of the kids, and I was really proud of everybody for just carrying on and for rescuing my first my first directed production.
Right. How did you come to decide, you, Lorne, and Julia, to go into some of these plays together and to make it a family affair?
Actually, Julia got interested in theater when we were doing craft shows, and we were traveling with the children to the craft shows. We did one in Stratford, and I took both children to see Pirates of Penzance in the Stratford Theater, and in the middle of it, we had a little discussion, and she wanted to know if that was a real pirate. And I said, no, these are mothers and fathers, and they have jobs. This is their job. Oh, she said, I want a job like that when I grow up. So it was very natural then to try to offer her some theater opportunities. And so that we got involved as a family, partly to give her that opportunity.
Also, she ended up getting very interested in costumes. And I know she helped out with the costumes in one of those big productions.
Yes.
Tell me about her work with costuming.
Well, she ended up taking a degree in costuming at York in the theater department, and actually worked in professional theater for several years until she decided to become a teacher.
Well, I think about it. How many times did I proudly tell the story of how my parents met while my mother played a crazy person in a play, and how awesome that was. So my mother's lifetime love of drama gave me the freedom to be a little bit of an exaggerator and a little bit of a misfit, and that let me be creative my whole life without ever being held back. And here I am teaching and using that skill every single day, the acting and the exaggeration. Congratulations, Mom. Well deserved.
Good job, Grandma.
And she still works with children in theater in the schools where she teaches.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the North Frontenac Review. I believe that was the name of the production, 1997.
Yes.
You and George Pearce got together and portrayed the duo that included Zeke from Zealand. Talk to me about how all of that was born and your experience with that play.
Well, it was a lot of fun, actually, and I was also involved in one of the other skits, a skit that I had actually written, I think, for a church production at one point, which was a meeting, people talking, and then their real thoughts were portrayed by 4 other people. That was fun. So there was a lot of fun in getting the whole thing together and getting together as a wider group of people. But George and I played the recurring characters, and I was sort of a Martha Stewart knockoff. And in flashy pants and fancy hair, come to find the perfect blueberry pie. And actually one of my fantasies, theatrical fantasies, finally came true. I got to be hit in the face with a pie.
There was a bit of everything in that play.
It was a bit of everything in that one, yes, there was.
And wasn't that the play that Lauren did some dancing in?
Yes.
But there was a hoedown or something?
He was involved in it was a square dance that he and a couple of other people had written called the Amalgamation Reel. It was a political commentary. It was at the time when Central Frontenac was being formed, and there was a great deal of opposition in some of the wards of the current township. And yeah, it was social satire.
Yeah, and on our local level, that was, I think, a real coup for our little theater to bring forth something local like that and laugh at ourselves a bit and have a bit of fun here in our community with community issues.
And it was able to involve a lot of people of different ages and people who wouldn't necessarily have wanted to take a long role but were willing to do something in the line of a skit. And so it was a really interesting one, and I enjoyed that.